Happy New Year. Welcome to 2024. Today is January 3rd, and this will be the first of my incident debriefs and review of a situation that happened in the news. And we'll talk about how conflict de-escalation knowledge and skills, tips, techniques, and so on would have definitely altered the outcome or how the situation evolved. My name is John. I'm the founder and president of Gentle Response. My team and I travel around the country conducting very dynamic, realistic conflict de-escalation training seminars. And ever since COVID, what I do is I grab these situations that I find in the news and social media and talk about how most likely some de-escalation, effective, successful de-escalation knowledge and skills would have definitely have altered, even mitigated and avoided how a situation ultimately played out. And so to start off 2024, we're going to talk about a situation that happened in North Carolina at a McDonald's. And again, have you not noticed over the last couple of years a dramatic increase of just stupidity and drama and chaos at fast food joints? Well, this one is at a McDonald's with a manager in training in North Carolina. And apparently, the manager in training, this lady calls her husband and complains that the people are disrespecting her. So apparently, she's not there with another trainer manager. She's there on her own. And she calls and complains that people are disrespecting her. And this man, her husband, who also happens to be a pastor of a church, shows up after a few minutes, gets into a verbal argument with one of the people that I guess is the main culprit. They get into a physical altercation, and on video, this pastor is seen grabbing this individual by the head, neck, and shoulders, and looks like he's trying to shove his head into the deep fryer. So the pastor gets himself arrested, and this lady is fired and let go by McDonald's. How could this situation have absolutely been avoided with some basic conflict de-escalation knowledge and skills? First of all, let's start with the lady. She's in a leadership position, in a leadership trainee position as a manager. Let me take this opportunity to brag a little bit that when I was in the Army, I graduated in the 10%, top 10% of my primary leadership development course in the Army. It's a 1 month long course, and it's designed to teach young first level leaders, sergeants, and stuff like that, how to be effective leaders, how to work with people, how to get people to work together. Basic leadership 101. So I know a little something about leadership. And then through the years, finding myself in leadership positions, I find these basic leadership concepts time and time again. There's a reason why they teach it, and there's a reason why you're expected to do the best you can to follow through and apply some of these leadership things. So, okay, so that's a little bit about me. So this lady is in a primary leadership position as a manager at a McDonald's franchise in North Carolina, and she's not getting along with people, and she gets to the point where she calls her husband out. From several news articles that I read, she called and asked him to come take care of someone who was bothering her, who was disrespecting her. If you are a leader and you're new to a leadership position, leadership 101 is you're going to have to earn your stripes. You are going to have to let these people know that you are an effective leader by earning their respect. They will certainly respect the position, but what's even better and more effective as a leader is if they respect you as a person. And clearly, they must not have been respecting her as a person, because some news articles I read show that she got the job in around May of 2023. So there have been conflict and drama going on this whole time. And again, back to leadership, basic leadership concept. You've got to earn your place as a leader. When I came back from Desert Storm and we got a brand new butter bar lieutenant, we looked at him as just a college kid until he spent time with us out in the field. That's me in the Army. And across the board, even you could probably think of a situation where you had a brand new leader, brand new supervisor, and they had to earn your respect, your loyalty, and stuff like that. And truth be told, you and I both know there are some people that are just so narcissistic and just so full of themselves as soon as they get some leadership stripes that they're just a total jerk. And you're just like, wow, what happened to my friend? What happened to the person I knew? Yes, there are some people like that. But back to this lady. Leadership 101. Apparently, she was not being very effective in getting people to work together or to see her as an effective leader. Number two, as a leader, you don't call crying to your husband or your wife or your friends or your buddies and ask them to come take care of a problem for you at work. This is this is almost like a scene out of a movie. You deal with it. This is your issue. You're the one who's supposed to be in a leadership position. The fact that she had to make that call just tells me and questions her ability to be an effective leader at all, period. And I just question how she got to that position in the first place. So she calls her husband and asks him to come take care of a problem. Now, I initially gave her the benefit of the doubt until I started reading several news articles. Because there, if she was calling her husband just to vent, she's having a bad day, things aren't going well, people are being rude and disrespectful to her. Okay, I get it. That's just part of earning your stripes. You're going to have bad days too. So I gave her the benefit of the doubt that maybe she called her husband just to vent, until I read several articles that basically said, no, she called him to come take care of it. And then I later saw an interview with the both of them. And oh, Lord. All right. So as a leader, you have to earn your stripes. You have to earn your respect. You have to earn your position with the people. You're going to have to show that you care about your people. Leadership 101, take care of your people. You take care of your people, they will take care of you. They will bend over backwards for you. But first, you have to let them know that you care about them instead of just throwing your weight around. Number two, you need to be able to deal with those issues at the workplace and not call to your husband to come fix it, solve it, resolve it, or take care of whatever that's hurting your feelings that day. That was an absolute failure right there. So let's talk about the pastor. It is very, very aggravating, frustrating, and upsetting when you hear about your loved one being mistreated at work and so on. I know, I get it. I have friends who have spouses in leadership positions, and I know, believe me, I can relate. You can relate. It's very upsetting when you hear your spouse going through stuff. But if they are in a leadership position in that particular career field, that's their battle. The best thing you can do is be a shoulder to cry on, be supportive, be loving, be empathetic, be compassionate, but you don't freaking get in the car and go over there to fix it, solve it, resolve it, take care of it. Okay. That is a perfect example of how to escalate a situation. If you had stayed on the phone with your wife or your husband or your best friend or your cousin, and you just are a sympathetic, empathetic listener while they vent, cry, yell, and scream into the phone, there you go. However, this pastor, who's also a leadership, which by the way is a leadership position, should absolutely have been able to have taken a deep breath, prayed for guidance, and recognized, okay, this is very upsetting. And it's unfortunate that he didn't have the self-discipline or situation awareness that in the time it took for him to go get his car keys, get in the car, and drive all the way over there, that it never occurred to him to slow down, take a deep breath, pray for guidance, and just stop what he was doing and to think things through. Slow down, slow down, slow down, and think things through. Instead, he goes barging in there, gets into a shouting match with employees there. Mind you, it's during the workday in front of everyone, and gets into a physical altercation. That is not how a leader gains the respect of his people, of his flock as a pastor. That's not how you live by example. That's not how you're an inspiration, a motivation, and an encouragement to people as a leader or a pastor. And what's ironic, I read that this pastor the week before had posted something on his social media talking about your legacy. Folks, take a long, slow, deep breath. If you're in a leadership position, and especially if you're in a new leadership position and you're new to it. And this is why I think a lot of organizations need to have a more robust primary leadership development course for especially corporate, these civilians and stuff. You've got to learn leadership 101. Now, I'm going to assume this leadership trainee was going through some type of, whatever McDonald's has. Okay. But again, let's emphasize leadership 101. Take care of your people and recognize you're going to have to earn your place. You're going to have to earn your place. You're going to have to win their hearts and minds. And you're not going to do that by calling and crying to your husband to come take care of things for you. That's not how you're going to do it. And especially as a pastor, fruit of the spirits: love, kindness, patience, self-control. I mean, I just named a few of them. I didn't go to preacher school. I didn't memorize the whole thing. But the fruit of the spirit, this pastor unfortunately did not demonstrate any of that. And folks, especially in this day and age when everything is so chaotic and there's so much strife and so on, as a pastor, you have got, or any church volunteer, any believer, you've got to develop a ministry mindset and start slowing down, taking a deep breath. You're supposed to be in this world, not of this world. Stop acting like everyone else. You're supposed to be the difference. This pastor, unfortunately, did not come and showed himself to be a light in a dark place. He went in there and absolutely smothered that place with more darkness, chaos, anger, frustration, and got into a physical altercation. And then I watched this interview with him and his wife, and he's making, in my opinion, these pathetic excuses. Well, no one's going to be disrespecting my wife. Well, I totally agree with the sentiment, but how you go about doing something about it was totally, totally wrong. And now, again, his legacy will be tied to deep fryer fries and McDonald's and this one example forever on the internet. So that's how we're going to go into 2024. We're going to talk about leadership. Understand that if you're a new leader, you got to take care of your people, and you're going to have to earn your place, and you have to slow down and think things through. Are you an example and inspiration and motivation to other people? That's a leader. As a pastor, are you making sure that you are an example and inspiration and motivation to your flock, the people who are looking to you as a leader? Are you showing restraint? Are you showing examples of the fruit of the Spirit? No, when Paul wrote about the fruit of the Spirit, he didn't say fruits of the Spirit. He said fruit. All these components make up the fruit of the Spirit. And you take away one of these components, you take away empathy or compassion, or you take away self-control, you've just contaminated and corroded this fruit, and it's no good. And this pastor needed and should have been able, in the time it took for him to grab his car keys, get in the car, and drive there, should have been able to show more restraint, more self-control, situation awareness, and being able to just grab on to his faith and prayed for guidance. Because I am sure there is a voice whispering in his head, just stop and pull over. Just stop and pull over. Okay, on that note, we'll see you guys on the next video.